dating back to 1095 and literally translating into this tree. Bonsai originates from Japan but has a lot of Chinese influence because of the trading of in Japan and China. Bonsai is the art of making miniature trees and is an art form that is dying yet very popular and beautiful. Hello, today we'll be making a bonsai and what you will need is wire. I'm going to be using 0.05 mm, a wire cutter, and a 3 to 4 year old plant. I will be using a water jasmine, but you can use another species of a plant. Hi, so now before we get started and become hands-on with our bonsai, we first have to decide what is going to be the front, back, right, and left of the bonsai. So I have decided to make this as my front. What you will be seeing. This is because when you're designing a bonsai, you want it to be 3D and not just one-dimensional looking. Okay, and then after doing that, you would also decide what type of style you want your bonsai to look like. There are hundreds and hundreds of different types of bonsai styles that you can do. There's the chokan, shokan, hokadichi, but today I will be doing the moyogi style, which is an informal upright style. It's curvy looking, has layers that alternate from each side to side. Okay, now let's get started. The first step is to take out all the weeds. Next step is to take out all the leaves of this water jasmine. So just strip the plants of the leaves. Please take note that this step of stripping the plant of its leaves only applies to plants like this, like the water lily or the Premna ceratifolia. It does not, however, apply to plants like the juniper or the buxus or foxwood plant. This step also ensures us to be able to see and visualize how our bonsai is going to look when we start actually wiring and doing the next step. Once your tree starts to look barren like so, we will head on to the next step, which is trimming the tree. What you do in trimming is take all the long branches that make the whole tree look ununiformed and aesthetically wrong, and you will cut them from around one node or the second node. Just chop the branch off after its first or second node, so it starts looking more aesthetic and more uniformed again. And you will just do this to all of the branches upon how much you want it and how you want the tree to start looking like. Some pieces of the tree branches or parts of the tree you will not want, like one here, and so you just chop it off from the base, and you would want to just trim off all the unwanted parts that you don't like. Once in a while you might need to stop, look at what you have done, see what else you need to do. So like here I'm just seeing what else I need, if I actually even need this branch.
seems fine. Okay, after trimming your plant, you are gonna start wiring. So I'm gonna start from the base of the trunk. Okay. Since this tree is not really sturdy, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of wire and just push it in right down to the bottom of the pot, so it's when I can't move anything. And then I'm gonna start circling the wire around the trunk. And since I want my my trunk to be a little more curved, so it's kind of like a wave, I'm gonna just measure out the length till here. I'm just gonna go till here, and then use my wire cutter and cut my branch off.
So, when you're curving or bending your wire, you want to make sure to always have it as a 45-degree angle, like so. Here are also some other tips to remember. When you're bending the wire, make sure to bend the wire and not the branch around the wire. Because if you were to bend the branch around the wire, it would cause the branch to snap off because of it being put under extreme pressure. But don't worry, if your branch does break off, it will grow back. It is a plant after all. Also, if you were to wire two adjacent branches, or just wire a branch twice, make sure the wires don't cross, and if they're on the same branch, they are parallel to each other. Sometimes you need to support your tree trunk by adding more wire layers, or just make that really stubborn branch move by adding more wires. Just make sure that it's always parallel. The wires are always parallel to each other. Also, be firm when you're wiring, meaning be tight with your wires, but don't be too tight, because if you are, it might result in the tree trunk breaking breaking or rotting under pressure. Also, this is especially for buxus trees or juniper trees. You don't need to wire the branch until the branch tip. Just wire until you know the place you're gonna bend it till.
Now I will start my wiring. I will start bending, yes. You use a pinch grip. You just pinch on where you want to bend, and then you just bend. So for example, I want it to go like a wave here, so I'm just gonna bench it, and then here I want this to go back a little, but this trunk I want to go forward. So at this point, so here, as you can see, the wire is still not enough to make this trunk move, so I'm just gonna add one more layer. So as you can see, now I have around 2 wires here, so making it easier to bend. So see, there's the bend I needed. Just pinch and push. Don't use all of your strength or it's just going to snap into half. So, but don't use a really gentle grip if you're trying to move a trunk, but use a really gentle grip for the really thin branches. Okay, and I'm done. So, guys, this is the end of our first video. I will
Take out these wires in 2 months or so, and it depends.
how long it takes for first the leaves to grow, and also I would need to decide how you also know to take out the wires once you see the wire marks on the tree trunk or the tree branches.
After taking out the wire, let your tree rest for 2 or 3 months, and only wire again if your tree has lost shape or you want to make some changes to the shape of your tree. Trim your tree daily, and yeah.
So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and please watch the part 2 of the video to understand how to take care of your bonsai. See you next time.